Folks, we are talking about the big show that is coming to the Oxygen channel, and it's called Battle of the Besties. It premieres Tuesday, February the 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time, and it's an exciting new series that follows 14 former BFFs who are now forced to confront and hopefully forget past differences in order to win a life-changing $100,000 grand prize. Now, we talked to Trevor yesterday, who's a star of the show, and now we have another star. Her name is Danni. Danni, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. How goes it?
How are you?
Oh, I'm always great.
Now it says here that you were an alumni of the Bad Girls Club.
Yeah, this would be my 10th show.
So let me ask you a question, because I've watched your episodes of the Bad Girls Club. I mean, you girls get pretty ruthless on that show. What can our listeners expect to see once the Battle of the Besties premieres on February 14th from Danni?
I'm the same me. Probably why me and Judy stopped being friends, but I mean, it's definitely a situation that I wasn't expecting to be in, because when we originally did the show, we didn't really know that was the concept of the show. We just kind of got a phone call, and it was like, hey, you want to do this competition show with $100,000? And then all of a sudden Judy popped up, and I was like, no.
So let's get into the background of your beef here a little bit. So Danni and Judy Jackson, who's her partner on this team, they met on a series that found them in drunken brawls made for a rocky friendship. Because the course of their relationship played out on screen, the pressure on these two social media savvy BFFs was much higher. Unable to restrain their Twitter fingers, these frenemies drew a hard line when Judy coined herself the best bad girl of all time, and Danni felt it necessary to correct her and reclaim the title for herself. What began as a Twitter war soon led to prank phone calls and she said battle for all their followers to see. So, Danni, I want to hear your side of this story. How did this all play out on Twitter?
So, in my personal opinion, 5 bad girls that basically have made the franchise what it is. And Judy is definitely one of them, but I am one of them too, along with my twin sister. But Judy always just used to say it was her, and it would bother me, because I'm like, you're not giving recognition to like the 4 other girls that deserve to be recognized. And she just kind of annoyed me, and it annoyed me that like when her mom died, she went straight to Twitter, and I guess I handle family stuff different, and I just thought it was an issue that you went straight to social media to like upload a picture of your mom like in her deathbed, like, so I kind of called her out. And then we've been going back and forth, and she like called me on fake numbers, texted me from fake phones, and it was just really psychotic. She's crazy.
I mean, it kind of turned into like a little bit of a childish beef there, because, I mean, here you are kind of saying, hey, like, maybe you should keep your family life private, especially for, under those circumstances. And then she pretty much attacked you. But on top of that, it seems like you and Judy have had this back and forth issue of, like you said, who's the best bad girl of all time. Now, if I were to ask you who's the best bad girl of all time, who would you say?
I would say, honestly, I think it's a tie between the Victor twins, Judy, Natalie Nunn, Tanisha, and Rocky. I think it's an equal tie. I think those are the most popular bad girls. Everyone else, it's just like, when you mention their name, people are like, who is that? Nobody really knows. So, I mean, people know who Judy is. People know who the Victor twins are. People know who Natalie are. People know who Tanisha are. So it's like, I feel like it's an equal tie, but she always put herself on this pedestal.
So let me ask you a question then, because now Danni and so for you, Danni, you're saying okay, it's a tie amongst girls that are the bad girls or whatever. But the question that I have for you now is, so does Judy know that you say it's a tie between girls, or does she think this beef is created because you think you're like the best of all time?
Yeah, I mean, I do think I'm the best of all time. I think I'm great TV, and I'm always going to think that. And I just think Judy thinks I'm conceited, and that's fine. She can think that. I think Judy's crazy. Like, she's really, really, really off her rocket crazy. Like,
so do you think that for $100,000, I mean, that's a lot of money, $100,000, do you think you can set aside these differences of this Twitter war and this kind of childish beef that's kind of going on here. Do you think you can set it aside for the $100,000?
I don't know. Everyone's gonna have to wait to find out.
I knew I wasn't going to get a spoiler. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But what I want to know really is, I mean, what was the experience like when you first saw each other and bumped into each other as the show started filming?
So my first opinion was, I can't believe I'm about to do a competition show with Judy because I'm out of shape and Judy is definitely out of shape. So I was just like, this is already a disaster. Like, I would rather a lot of enemies on the show. Like, Judy's not the only person that I would consider to be an ex-friend. So, I mean, if I had to pick in a competition show, I was pretty upset that it was Judy because she's just not athletic at all.
Well, I got to tell you, the way that it sounds, Danny, it sounds like you girls don't have a pretty good chance of winning this thing because this beef just sounds too hot.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely going to be interesting to watch because before we both went to the show, it was almost a year and a half, I think almost 2 years since we actually saw each other in person because the last time I saw her was the Bag team reunion, and again, she just tried to make that whole reunion show about her. She always just tries to make it about herself. So that was the last time I saw her. So it was definitely interesting to see her come on the outside of that wall. But I mean, I was looking fabulous, and I was better dressed and looked more fabulous. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it should be interesting to see.
No, it should be. Now I'm excited to watch because this is just so interesting to me on what will happen when you two are together and now having to set aside your differences to go for that big $100,000 cash prize. It's called Battle of the Ex-Besties. It's premiering February the 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time on the Oxygen Network. And Danny, really quick, I know we've been talking about the show a lot. What are you up to lately other than the Battle of the Ex-Besties?
So right now, I actually just wrote 3 pitches for 3 new TV shows. So I'm actually pitching those to a production company. And the host of the show was Sibley. I actually had no idea who she was, so I went home and Googled her. And my goal is to take her job off any other show Oxygen has. I don't know why they didn't ask me to host, because I would have rather host than try to fight for $100,000. Because my idea of working out is running to the liquor store for a bottle of wine, so I'd rather be hosting. So that's what I'm focusing on now. I just want to do what I love to do, and I've tried the whole working in an office thing. I've tried bartending. It's just not for me. My personality is definitely for radio or TV, so I'm just kind of focusing on myself this year and getting what I want done. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Danny, I can tell you have a great personality. You're very confident, I can tell you that. And I will tell you this, you always have a seat and a microphone open for you here on the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. How about that?
Yeah, and I love the name of your show. I think it's very creative.
Danny, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We look forward to watching you girls hopefully not battle it out, hopefully battle together on the Battle of the Ex-Besties, which takes place February the 14th. It premieres on the Oxygen Network. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time. Danny, thank you for joining us this morning, and have a great morning, okay?
You too. Thanks for having me. Bye.